guys! I've been working on something for a little while now, and I've been eager to share it with you guys. I've been working on a fanfiction called Shitennou Angels and Demons. What is it exactly? It's a Sailor Moon Crystal AU fanfiction focusing on the Shitennou, a group of 4 villains, and I conceptualized it in 2022, and it's basically got its title from a TikTok song called Angels and Demons by Jaden Hostler. And it's basically a story that I wrote and I thought that the Shitennou didn't get a lot of characterization. And when they were off in the source material, I was so pissed. I decided to write a 4-part saga about it. So what influenced the story is that I grew up in a time where dystopian teen fiction was booming. This is like the 2010s, like early to mid 10s, I want to say. I grew up on shit like The Hunger Games and Divergent. Hunger Games was definitely one of those formative books that shaped my worldview unconsciously. I read it in the summer of 2014, and it was I really enjoyed it. I just was very young. I was 12 years old, and I couldn't quite comprehend the nuance of everything and just how messed up Katniss's circumstances were. And then the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out in 2023, so naturally I began to revisit the series. And the series aged pretty damn well in my opinion, because it's very, very contemporary to now. And the thing is, I feel like it's something that kind of shaped my worldview as time went on, especially given now. Another one of these series that I was really, really digging around that time was Divergent. I am neurodivergent, so no pun intended, but anyway, it's I feel like while it didn't age as well as The Hunger Games, I feel like it did have something to say to me, because it's about a girl who feels like she doesn't fit in anywhere. She literally doesn't fit in anywhere of the 5 factions in her city, and she learns that different is a good thing. And it really spoke to me because I'm neurodivergent, and I spent a good chunk of my life wondering why the hell I didn't feel like anybody else. So naturally, those influences really spoke to me, and then they found themselves in Shitennou Angels and Demons. So the main character in Shitennou Angels and Demons is Jadeite from Sailor Moon canon. I mean, all the Shitennou are from Sailor Moon canon, so. Anyway, so he has not much characterization in the Crystal series, and I feel like he is the most likely to be a blank canvas, so I kind of just gravitate towards him because I feel like I can do a lot with this character, and I feel like he needs some characterization alongside the other Shitennou, who gets a little bit more characterization. But anyway, he's definitely the kind of person who has a lot of unresolved trauma, and that manifests itself in the way he lashes out against the system that made him that way. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything, but he's definitely got a lot of issues. And then there's Nephrite. He's the kind of guy who you want in your corner. He's the gentle giant type. He's very yes, he looks like a football player, built like a linebacker, but yeah, he definitely has a very big heart and definitely cares for literally everyone in his close inner circle. And he's very rugged in this version. Some of the some of the clothes he wears is very rugged, and he also comes from an outdoorsy place, so I guess it adds up. Then there's Zoisite. He is a Catholic school high school student with a lot of religious trauma, and I feel like with him I want to explore some queer themes in religious settings. It's something that's always spoken to me when I was in the church, and then I decided to leave at 19. So it's something I've always wanted to explore. So I felt like with Zoisite, it's a natural way for me to talk about this issue. And in case you didn't know, he's actually gay in the 90s anime. And they also switched his gender in the 90s anime English dub, DIC. Yeah, let's move on. Lastly, there's Kunzai. He's the leader of the Shitennou, definitely the oldest at 26, and he's very like intellectual, smart, and he's very like, how do I put it? He's emotionally constipated because of a lot of things that's happened in his life. I don't want to spoil anything, but you got the idea. With this series, I have so much I want to say. I'm very talkative, and I feel like with a story like this, I have to have a lot to say, and I'm very opinionated too, so that checks out. So I do talk about like found family quite a lot because I really like that trope because it sends the message that you don't have to stay with a shitty family if they didn't treat you right. And the family you make is the more important than the family you came from, because family isn't always forever, especially if they're shitty. And it's very like something I've wanted to write about for years. And especially with Zoisite's queer character arc, I think he definitely does have like a lot of found family coded things in it, like leaving a toxic situation and finding the people that he cares about, finding his people, you know what I mean? And especially with like the political climate of now, it's very important that I do write a story like this, because it's like you need to write from the heart, and I feel like if I don't write from the heart, it ends up bad. So naturally, I wrote a lot. Like when I conceptualized, wrote the original version in 2022, 2023, there was a lot to say, but it wasn't all connected. So when I rehauled it like a couple months ago and returned to this series, I thought I could like add more nuance and iron everything out, so it doesn't end up like 13 Reasons Why, which has a lot to say, but how is it all connected? So with the political undertones, there's like some corruption involved. So yeah, it's kind of heavy, but I'm gonna like not spoil anything because that's gonna ruin the experience for you guys. So I'm gonna stop talking and move on. And then there is also the fame aspect of it, because I've always been interested in the rise and fall of celebrities ever since I was young. Like, I'm a huge fan of Britney Spears. She is a huge inspiration to me in my life. And I highly recommend you read her memoir, which came out in 2023. Anyway, I just feel like celebrity culture is something that I've been interested in because I really love music. I love investing in brands of artists that I really care about, like Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter, Miley Cyrus, you name it. So I think it would naturally come out in the way that I include some of that in the story. Like, not gonna spoil too much, but it will come when it comes. And I'd be remiss to not mention how the series critiques corrupt institutions, like school principals that are more concerned with image management than actually doing the best thing for the school they run. And also, there's a lot I have to say about that. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as quick as possible. When I was in Catholic school in like 2016, 2017, that school year, I was writing a book that was very controversial for them, and I don't fucking know why. I mean, I kind of get why, but it doesn't make it right. Because the story involved an unaliving thing happening, and it just didn't sit right with them. And they told me to leave the book at home. Still angry about that, but hey, I'm not going to tone it down for them. This story is not meant for them. I'm not writing for those people. I'm writing for the kids that felt misunderstood, the kids that want to see the system burn, the kids that want to see change. And I don't think, and if the people get mad and try to crucify me for spitting out the truth, so be it. So, if you've ever been a misfit or ever felt like you didn't belong because you were traumatized, people told you to stop talking about your trauma, or, anything like that, if you're willing and mentally able to dive into the twisted dystopian world of Shitennou angels and demons, go right ahead, because it's gonna be live on AO3 this Friday. So check it out, take care of yourselves, tell a friend, share, comment, like, subscribe. See you around, guys. Stay vicious.